This is The Spot, a BYU-Idaho radio production where we talk about what you talk about at BYU-Idaho. Today we are here with
Rachel Pace,
Abigale Maxfield,
Grace Andrus.
Awesome. And today we're here with Rachel, who actually wanted to talk with us about budgeting and finance, just kind of like while you're in college or as a newly married couple kind of a thing. This is something she just kind of has a lot of passion about. And for most college students, we know that like money's usually pretty tight.
Always tight.
And by usually, I mean every single day of
I'm like,
my
every
life.
time, especially when I want a little beverage.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, money's really awesome right now.
You're just like, oh my gosh, but I have money, so I can just spend it,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, making the most out of it, making it stretch really far right now is so important because there's so many costs. Like your like tuition and and you will always have bills, right? So all of your bills and your cost of living and your rent and if you want a sweet treat or whatever it is, right?
Because life is a prison.
and it'll probably all just get crazier after college.
Oh my gosh, I know. And then it's like, well, even though you might not have tuition, okay, maybe then you have a mortgage or maybe then you have to move or maybe you have like medical expenses. Like there's so many things.
So many things can pop up.
Yeah. Like there's like always some unexpected cost. Like my husband just had to like replace the radiator in his truck. And then I had to like get something resolved with my car soon after. And then we were like, okay, like this
so
is good. And then
expensive.
it was like, oh, I turned 26 and I'm off my parents' insurance. And so you're just like,
dang it.
you're like, oh my gosh, why is there never enough money to just pay our bills?
Car stuff. I hate paying for that.
I think
actually
within like
the
a
worst.
month, we had to buy all new tires and a new battery for our little 2016 car. I was like,
Oh my
that
gosh.
was a crazy month.
Oh my gosh, tires, like paying for new tires like actually hurts my soul. My brother just recently moved across the country and he's like driving like this big box truck that he owns and he blew a tire and had to replace all four like on his way, like moving across the country, and it was like over $1,000 because it's like a big truck.
Yeah.
They're like specialty tires.
Oh, man.
So he had like this unexpected cost that was like I think like a little over $1,200 or something crazy. And I was like, I'm like in pain for you right now.
For real.
Yeah, so that kind of stuff is brutal. But what do you think, like, when you think about finance, I guess, like, what is your impression of the culture? Because to me, it just seems like everybody thinks they know what they're talking about.
Or
feel
they
like-
don't know when they just float through life. Like it's either way. It's either people that look or sound like they know everything or people that are like, I'm going to get this bevy and if it hurts, it won't hurt because I don't look at the number or something like that.
Yeah, like people who check their bank account like once a month and they're like, well, okay, good luck next month. Which definitely I have done like the whatever it's called, like I just don't look at all. Like I've definitely gone through that phase where I like look maybe like twice a month, 3 times a month. And I'm like, well, we'll be okay. But I'm not doing that anymore. That was, freshman me. But I do feel like the culture on finances is just kind of like nobody quite knows what they're doing. Everyone's just broke for some reason. I feel like everybody's broke. At least that's the mentality around college students.
And it's so easy for everyone to just say, oh, I'm broke. Can't do that. I'm broke. Like they're probably not broke, but it's just a word we throw around.
Yeah.
And like money's one of those things that's like kind of taboo in a way. Like, did we really talk about it growing up? Like how many kids had the experience of like actually talking about a budget with their parents or something like that?
Yeah.
Or how much college would actually cost? Like it's one of those things where it's like, do we really know? Like people don't necessarily talk about it, but it's easy to throw out the phrase I'm broke all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so interesting. And like I think you make a good point. Like that's kind of something that's like it's such a taboo topic, like socially, which is interesting. And like I just remember like talking to my mom. This was just like, I don't know, a couple years ago or something, but she just talked about how like when we were younger, she would take us like grocery shopping with her and we'd like, whatever, beg for something. She wished that like looking back now that she, instead of saying like, oh, we like can't afford that, like we don't have the budget for that or like that, whatever, that's not a priority. She wished that she had like taken us and been like, okay, if you want that, let's figure out how we can make that happen. And like, what can we like, kind of compromise on in other places and like what gives and so I just remember her saying that and being like, and as a child, like her just saying like we can afford that was to me was like a good enough answer.
Yeah.
When in actuality, I think she like looking back is like, I wish I hadn't have said that because that gives like the impression that like we don't have enough money for food, which we did, but like, yeah.
I would get nervous asking my parents for like the field trip money for school or like the Super Kids Day t-shirt for field day or something like that. Because like it was easy for my parents to say, no, we're not taking our big family to McDonald's on the way home. They're like, we have food at home.
Yep.
We're not really
but to a
we
child,
can't afford that. And I'm like, we can't afford anything.
No, yeah, we can't afford food.
I have no shoes. Like, yeah.
I have no shoes.
It can create panic in kids. And then I think that like translates to when you're in college where it's like, I don't know.
It gave me a bit of anxiety, I think. I mean, some of those experiences where it's like, oh, I shouldn't spend money ever in a way. Like some of my biggest purchases until college were probably like $10, $15. Yeah, my biggest purchases.
No, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I know, because I was so nervous to spend money.
I felt the same way. I would feel so guilty if like I wanted a pair of pants that were like $60 or like $50. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can't spend anything for the rest of the year when I was in high school.
I can't ask my mom for anything else.
I'm like, I don't need food this week, Mom. I don't
need food this week.
I don't know. It's just so interesting how that just like translates into college, and now we just kind of don't talk about it. I don't know.
And like the other side of it, like social media, like what do we see about finances there? I see the whole spectrum. Maybe it's just my feed because I'm kind of obsessed with it. But like, there's all the business bros that like show up in their Lamborghinis and they're like, yeah, this is how you know I haven't made.
Yeah. I wake up at 4 a.m.
This is how you can make $10,000 passive income.
And then I read this book, Atomic Habits. Have you ever heard of it? I'm like, bro, that's not going to win me 6 figures. Anyway, sorry. But yes, there's like the sales bros. And then what's the other side? Because you said your feed is
the girl math. It's like if I buy this bag for $1,200, like really it's only $5 every time I wear it for the next year. And it's like, yeah, but really like $5 a day is a lot. Like you're not putting that to a bag.
What the heck?
Anyways,
or like you could be buying a coffee.
They're like, it's just my coffee, or for us, our Chick-fil-A sandwich on the way to class or something. Like,
so good.
I don't know. Like that adds up definitely. And would you really want to put that to a $12,000 or $1,200 bag?
Yeah.
On an impulse? I don't know.
Yeah.
Some people. But I also think like with social media, we see a lot of people who are wealthy who don't necessarily work. So I think that's also hard in college when you see like influencers or like people who do that for their living, and it's like
that is their job.
That's their job.
That's them going to work.
But it's hard because in your head it's like, I just never want to work a day in my life. I want to be like that.
It looks like they're not working. Yeah. They're getting a free sauna in the mail kind of thing from some brand.
So that can like really skew the view too of like what it means to save and be wealthy and like successful. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, social media is like, I don't know. Like finance advice from social media is so sketchy for me because I'm like says who? Like I don't know. Cause like as a kid when I was younger, I would just like be like, oh, they have this big house. Oh, they have this fancy car. And I would always say like, wow, they're rich, or like they must be rich. And my mom would always counter, like, this is like, I can play this conversation like numerous times in my head, but I'm like, wow, they must be rich, or they're rich. And she's like, or they could just be in a lot of debt. True. And I was always like, oh my gosh, yeah, that's true. So it's just like, I feel like that especially has given me more awareness that some people are just like, they're just okay with like swimming in debt.
Some people are okay with that. Like, what is it? Like 53% of Americans right now live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
And that's with like a median income of like 60,000. So like even people like making over 6 figures are still living paycheck to paycheck somehow. And like us in college with our part-time jobs,
our little
13 an hour or something like that, like we're paycheck to paycheck too. Like how is it equal? It's just crazy.
It's just like, I don't know, but I think that helps me with like social media when people are like pulling up in their Lambos and they're like, this is how you need to do it, just invest in this, this. And I'm like, I can't trust you. Like I don't actually, like I'm not looking at your bank account, I'm not looking at like what assets you have. And so I think that's given me like this, like I'm like probably a little overly skeptical. I mean, maybe it's a healthy amount of skepticism, but
I think it's healthy.
But I'm always like, says who? Like who are you to claim this? Who are you? Like what is your authority? What is your experience?
Their authority is the course they're selling.
Yeah,
you.
literally
they're like
$1,000.
Comment
down below and I'll
comment, show up. I'm like,
or
I'm not gonna buy $20 for
their affiliate links. Just put in code Joseph and you're just like, okay.
Like I need to eat this week. I can't buy your financial plan. Instead, I'll spend my money irresponsibly.
Yeah.
At Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
I think there's a good environment on social media too for finance. Like if you think about it, there are the moms on there that are like, this is how you can make homemade like dish detergent or laundry detergent for super cheap and it'll last you all year. Or like the people that give you like a perfect Aldi shopping list for like meals for the whole week.
That is, yes.
And it's all right there. Budget friendly meals, easy to make. They give you the shopping list and you know it's going to be like less than $100 or whatever kind of headline you click on for that reel or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I actually do love that when they're like, this is what we spent, this is how much food we made, this is what you can do. And I'm like, that's fire, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't have to think about it.
Yeah, I agree. I think, social media is just like, it's so like, I don't know, it's just such a back and forth environment in general. And just like finance specifically is no different, right? There's like that fear mongering and people making claims of authority that you can't validate. And like, then there are good sides of it. Like, in this cart is $50 worth of food and this is like 4 days of meals. Like, let's like do it kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm always like, oh, heck yeah, like that's great. But yeah, I just think, I don't know, I think you made a good point earlier that like nobody really taught us a lot of this stuff when we were younger. Like I think my parents did like a pretty decent job of being like, here's like a good like outline of how to like save versus like how much you should spend on whatever money you have. But like even that was like so long ago and hazy in my memory. But I remember it happening once when I was a child. And then in high school, like we didn't get, like I took a personal finance class that was required for graduation. It was like a half credit and it was like a half semester class or something like that. And like we literally just took a Dave Ramsey course. Like they had all his videos and we just watched all of his stuff. But then like that's all they did. They were just like, so, this is one strategy for saving money.
Go
and
look
he's
at
like,
college now.
Yeah. And Dave Ramsey has like awesome practices, but he is like on a really extreme end of a spectrum.
He's one of the extremes.
No credit,
he's a big name.
Yeah. And so it's like, although like that can work for some people, like the reality is oftentimes you need a line of credit for, whatever
to
loans.
Qualify for a home or a car.
And so it's like, although it was like a really great resource, I still didn't feel like very prepared. Like I like just got a credit card like 6 months ago for the first time. I'm 26 years old. Like,
all right.
I was like, how am I
build up that credit score, girl?
Yeah.
You got this.
Oh my gosh. So it's just like things like that where you're just like, okay, like so.
Yeah, there wasn't like an intermediate class. I feel like there was a beginner's class and then now they're like, now they're like, hey, everyone needs to be experts. How much are you putting in your retirement? How much are you putting on your credit card? How, like, all these things. And I'm like, I didn't know any of that was necessary.
Yeah, there's a lot of courses out there that they're trying to push into high schools, but it's really hard for high schoolers because, like, this is their first, like, time learning about taxes, insurance, investing, all of that.
Yeah.
And they don't really have a way to practice it yet because they're working at McDonald's for $8 an hour, like I did. Like, there's not really a way for them to practice it except maybe saving because what really are their expenses?
Yeah.
And so like it can get hard to explain it to like high schoolers and stuff, but I'm working with a professor. I'm a TA for her financial, like her family finance class. And she does a lot of research on teaching children how to be good with finances. And she's found that it really is best like when parents are helping kids from the very beginning, like this is how you can make money, this is how you can save it. And this is how you can buy things that you want, things that you need, like all of that. It just has to start when they're young and keep going.
Yeah.
It can be hard because for us, our generation, because we didn't really get that till freshman year of high school.
Yeah,
and in my class, we just did coloring pages. So like, I didn't really learn. And we watched a movie about like check fraud with Leonardo DiCaprio. So like,
Catch Me If You Can.
That movie's fire. I mean, it doesn't teach you anything, but
don't
it's
turn
fire.
into a con artist.
That's like all we did as far as my financial like learning went.
If you do, Tom Hanks will catch you.
Yeah. And if you do, be the best one ever, so then the FBI like hires you.
Yeah, and you can like flip your life around and have a steady source of income. And
like if you're gonna do it.
Oh man.
No. I didn't even get a financial class in high school. Zero. Yeah, I got a credit card because my boss was like, you don't have a credit card? Here, tap this link and we both get $100. And I was like, okay.
All right. Fair
you
enough.
said say less.
I was like, okay, sure, $100.
I was moving out for college like in a week. And my dad's like, how come you don't have a credit card yet? And I was like, what do you mean? I thought credit was bad.
Yeah,
I thought borrowing money was bad. I was like, what? This doesn't make sense. And he's like, yeah, do it for the safety of your money and do it so you can build a credit score. And I was like, oh, okay. How come I've never heard this before?
Yeah.
I was like afraid of credit. I was like, I thought that was bad. But I've got it, and credit score is building, guys.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I do think in the church, you're right. Like there was a period of time they're like, don't borrow, no credit, like have your own money. So it's definitely changed.
Oh yeah. Well, like the church is like they counsel against like having like large amounts of debt or like owing money. And so I think that like with many things, which is like a really like that makes a ton of sense as a practice, right? Like, hey, like don't get yourself into a ton of debt because all sorts of problems come with that, right? And but like I think with most things within like a subculture of like members of the church kind of tend toward a more extreme variation of that, which is when they're like, no credit, no loans. And you're like, how am I ever going to buy a house ever? Like, and no rock music.
Sorry, I'm just like, that was like the same era. I feel like, no rock music, no face cards, and no debt.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
No face cards.
All right. Anyway, sorry, guys.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. But no, yeah. And so just things like that I think that is just something where like the pendulum swung so far the other direction and it's still like course correcting. Like I think a lot of us grew up with parents who were raised in the generation of like no debt, you know, and then
the phrase like the borrower is slave to the lender.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, all of our parents have said that, right?
Yeah.
But
some
like,
variation.
So scary.
Yeah. So like debt, it's advised not to go into debt, but like for a modest home, one that you can afford, for modest transportations, like no Lamborghinis or a nice new Lexus, but like maybe a nice
Toyota.
7 to 10-year-old Toyota if that's what you need.
Those will never let you down.
Yeah. So car, house,
education.
and education.
Three, right?
Yeah. But then again, like education, a lot of people that are anti-education these days or like anti-college, they're like, it's because it costs you $100,000 to go to school and get a degree and you're going to get paid $30K a year after that. Like that doesn't sound like a right deal, but
yeah.
I guess we've got it going here at BYU.
Yeah, I was going to say, BYU is pretty fire for that.
I would say. Yeah.
BYU is definitely more affordable. And like, there's like, you can go to trade schools for more affordable. And if you're going in-state, I mean, just for one of my other jobs, I was just comparing like tuition rates for like in-state tuition costs compared to like our tuition costs. And like, we're really on par with tons of in-state tuition. Like if you go to like a state school, I mean, obviously if it's like a really high level state school that maybe has like really special programs or something, like, right, but it's not like we're like this crazy like, oh, but like only members of the church can go here and it's like, you know, it's not like it's like exclusive, like we're within like a decent range. So.
I remember I'm from Oklahoma and one of my classmates in high school a couple years into college was like, hey, if I switched to the BYU Marriott School of Business, like what would that be like for me as a non-member? And it like competed with the school he was at. Like even with the non-member like tuition price, like it was about, I don't know, it would break even.
Yeah.
Switching. I don't know. BYU does it well.
Yeah.
Thank you, church education system.
Yeah, literally.
UCS.
Yeah, and BYU.
Tithing dollars.
Yeah. Yeah. And BYU, I'm sure, because you're a student at BYU Provo, and so you're a TA for a teacher who's teaching like a family finance class. We have one at BYU-Idaho too. So it's like clear that they want people to go into their families with financial literacy and to be prepared to like know the best way to
I would say it's a class for everyone. Like
I wish it was required.
I wish it was a general like credit that we all just like had to take.
But I've heard good things about the one at BYU. It's called money management, and I've heard really good things about it. So I haven't taken it.
I would recommend it. I haven't taken it either, but anything goes a long way. It helps in a world that's crazy. So
Yeah, and the church teaches money like
the financial self-reliance course. Yeah.
Which is free.
It is free, yeah.
For anybody, not
so
just
you can
members.
check with like your ward or stake or like even just like ask around if one's happening nearby. These classes are so good. I read the book for fun on my own.
Oh, heck yeah.
And it's like, it has great tools, talks about debt, talks about how to budget, how to take care of your family with all these financial terms. Like it explains them to you so that you're not wading through a pool of murky water, like not really knowing what's happening with your money. And it's really cool because it has like this little model of a house that I really like that like shows you like finances and stuff. And it's the foundation is faith in Christ and unity with your spouse and commitment to self-reliance. So like all of that, it's like what you need to like have that giddy up to like take care of your family and finances. And then number 1 is pay tithes and offerings. And number 2 is protect your family from hardship. So like the first things you do when you get your paycheck should be pay the Lord first and then pay yourself so that you're saving something right from the get-go so that you're moving forward in life. Like not necessarily forward in life, but like building up that safety net in case big expenses come up. You have to pay for new tires and things like that. And then you try to fit your expenses into the rest. Like, that's how you can like build up this safety net and have security and peace that goes a long way today.
Yeah.
It's so true. Financial, like, I don't even know, like financial stress and anxiety. Seriously, like, I don't know. I feel like it's one of the most stressful types of stress you can have when like you feel like you don't know how you're going to pay for rent next month and you don't know how you're going to pay for groceries or food. And so having that like sense
let
of,
alone
like,
the big tuition bill in 4 months.
yeah, that's coming, that you're like, I know this is on its way and I don't know what to do about it. So it's hard because the basic budgeting and like savings can only go so far. Like, you have to know how to stretch your money and when to take out a loan and how to use it and those things. But yeah, I feel like just financial security can just, it's just like a relief.
Yeah, it can bring so much peace for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that like using the spirit as a tool to like help you remember like what are trusted sources and like help guide your decision on how much I should be setting aside and like just things like that, using that to kind of just for discernment, right? Like, should I trust this source? Maybe I should look at it closer or whatever it is also just like an important thing to remember because sometimes, you know, at least for me, I tend to like disregard it and I'm like, man, I think the spirit was maybe telling me that was a potentially bad purchase. Like, I should have maybe listened a little closer. And so just like following that, because when you do, like, you know, it's the ultimate trusted source, right? So yeah. But like, sorry, speaking of big purchases, but what was like one of the bigger purchases that you remember like first making?
Like when I got to college,
Just like for you personally, it could be when you're in high school. I don't know.
I feel like a big purchase is when I had to replace all the tires on my car. And then the next week I had to replace the brakes and the rotors on my car. Ooh. And I wasn't in a place where I could like have someone do that for me, or like I didn't know anybody. So I just had like the chain garage do it, like they're not very, I don't know. I'm like so scared of car shops because they take advantage of you always, but you know, they have to make money. It's like whatever. But anyways, that was like really scary because that was like $1,500 I wasn't planning on spending, but I had to. Like I had no other choice because that was just like kind of it.
Yeah.
So that was really scary, but I remember like not planning for it, not having like quite enough money to pay rent for the next month. And so I was like, shaking in my boots. But the Lord blessed me that year. I remember being so worried and paying my tithing still, even though I didn't have enough money. And then I got a tax return that was like a perfect amount that I needed. And I was like, thank you, Lord.
Miracles.
But yeah, that was like unexpected and scary. I don't know. I just feel like car stuff. I feel like car stuff can be so stressful because you can't plan for it usually. Anyways.
Yeah, you can't plan for it. Well, then, and also like most time, like 9 times out of 10, if you can't, like if your car's not working, you can't get to work. So it's not only like, oh, I don't have enough money for this. It's like, oh, now I'm continuing to have enough money for anything is now in jeopardy. So it's like, so you like feel like you're like immediately backed into a corner. Like I have to, or I can't get to work. Like,
yeah.
So it's so stressful. But I think one of my biggest purchases was when I bought a laptop.
Oh, yes. Those are necessary, but they're also
a purchase I don't love making.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was my first purchase, like big purchase. $600 right before moving to college. My brother researched it for me, so I knew it'd be good. But then when that one broke and I had to buy another, I was like, oh no. Like they just keep coming. Like within like the first month of college, I bought a laptop, bought all my textbooks. Who told me?
Gosh. Yes.
Like each one would be $100. I was like, this is annoying. And they were online too. I was like, online ones should be cheaper, right?
They should be free.
Because they're not physical.
Free.
Because it's not paper.
You're not paying printing
PDF,
costs.
right?
Yeah.
And then like the gas to drive to Utah, like all of the stuff, I was like, man, college is crazy. And so when I got to college, I was like, well, no, I can't spend a penny. So I went to the kids' meal for everything, every time I was eating. Bought only Great Value brand for all my groceries, just like all the things to feel like I could recover from all of those first week of school expenses.
Yeah.
Rent.
I feel like the first week is probably like the biggest spending week, especially when you're a freshman and you're like, oh my gosh.
Like I have to get
Who's
dishes
gonna
for
pay
all my
this?
roommates, right? I'm just kidding. You don't have to do that.
Everyone, right?
Oh yeah, it's like it's just gonna be so stressful. You're just like, oh, I'm dropping this much money, and it's like hard because I'm like, I worked so hard for that money. Like it's so easy for me to like exchange the dollar amount for how many hours. Yeah, like I'm like, that was like 3 weeks of work, and that's like that's all it was. Like
it just
like it's just like
kills, especially with purchases that you just have to, like a computer. You have to buy a computer to be in college.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
My little McDonald's job in high school, $8 an hour. I remember doing the math for my laptop and I was like, that hurts. I worked full time all summer and there it goes.
Yeah.
Bro, it sucks. It sucks.
You're like, and it's gone right there. Yeah, it's really hard. I think with those bigger purchases, it's easier to like justify doing the research and spending a little bit more because you know, like, okay, well, this is a big purchase. That's my other thing too, is like, when I make a big purchase, I need to do the research. I need to put in the time because I'm like, if
big
it's going to cost
purchases go on the laptop as well.
Yeah.
Not on my phone.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah, you don't make big purchases on a phone. That's how you make impulse choices.
Oh my gosh.
For me,
especially with
I'm
Instagram,
that
that's
is
like
not a safe place.
You can use Apple Pay like to buy something online. I'm like, so easy for me to just be like, yep, okay.
Yeah, but like the amount of money I spend for me should be equal to the amount of time it's going to last me.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm like, if I'm going to, like, I had to replace my laptop a couple years ago because the first one I bought for college, like, just like crapped out on me. It wasn't a very good one in the first place, but I like did tons of research and it was a really large amount of money. But I was like, that's because this thing better last me X amount of years. Like, I want it to like have these specific specifications, so it runs like my design class programs like on them like really rapidly. Anyway, so just like things like that like went into it. So for me, it's like, okay, I can justify spending this much amount of money if it lasts me at least X amount of time, kind of a thing. And then if it doesn't, then I'm like, oh my gosh, what have I done? You know, like it's so stressful. It's so like so much regret. And I'm just like, no. But yeah, I don't know. And I think that's probably just because like I have a natural tendency to be like a saver. So I'm like, I've saved up for this large thing and like I have put all this time and research and energy into it. And so I'm going to buy it, but only because I think it's worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's real. I have a question for you, Rachel.
Go ahead.
What do you feel like, because I know that you are very knowledgeable in this entire world of family finance. Your husband brags about you all the time because you're so smart and awesome. Anyways, but I was wondering, what is like, do you feel like the biggest misconception for college kids? Like college kids just assume something and you're like, oh, there's a better way.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, you're good. I think the biggest one is like assuming that it's going to be expensive and then just rolling with it and like taking out all the student loans you can just because that's what everyone says to do, everyone else is doing. You don't have to do that, especially here. And then I guess like another big misconception is that like if you don't have enough money, it's because you're not making enough. But I think one of the biggest things is you need to be saving more. It's easier to cut back on expenses than it is to increase your income. Like think about what it takes to get a new job or to like haggle your boss for a raise. Like that's a lot more difficult than it is to maybe go to Chili's less every month, or that's my thing. Or maybe get fewer swig sodas and stuff like that. Like it's easier to cut down on those things. Maybe move to a smaller apartment or have a roommate or two or another one, whatever it takes to cut down on those things so that you can maybe stay at maybe like a net positive net worth throughout college. Yeah, that's what I would say.
No, I think the first one you said was really interesting because I think you're right. Like people are like, college is expensive, so I'm just going to take out a loan. Like that's just, I have to. That's just how college is. But you're right. Like there are other ways to do it. And then you like, I love the thing you said that it's easier to cut back on expenses than it is to increase your income. I think that's so smart. Yeah. And I need to reflect on that.
I need to put that on a shirt.
Yeah, I need to tattoo it on my forehead so that I can't buy things.
Another thing I would add, like hint for college students, is like scholarships are amazing. If you think about how much a scholarship is worth, like maybe a half tuition here means you have some good grades and it's worth like $1,200 or something like that. If you count like a $14 an hour job on campus, that's 85 hours of work. So it's like a full month of your part-time job, or you could give 85 hours to studying, and then you can get that scholarship, or even less hours to studying. Definitely not 85, but like there are trade-offs you can do where it's like, if I write this scholarship essay, like it could pay off big dividends in the long run.
True.
Yeah.
It might take me an hour or two right now, but could be worth like 80 hours if we compare it to time.
Yeah. Amen.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I was like, that was
welcome.
awesome. We are out of time. This episode went really fast.
Yeah, I did.
So maybe we'll have to do a second one and have
let's-
Rachel back.
There's so much we can talk about.
I'll just bring
I
out all
could
my
keep going.
finances and you can, we'll
Build you a budget.
That'd be awesome, actually. That'd be kind of fun to do like live.
I'm so down. I have no shame. I'm so broke.
All right, let
Sorry,
us know
mentality.
in the comments.
It's a mentality. I'm so rich. I wake up at 5 a.m. I read Atomic Habits. Just kidding.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here, Rachel. We hope that everybody listening researches a plan that's best for them and takes some of these things and does some of their own investigating and deep diving into, practices that will make your money work for you and go a little bit further. But thanks so much for being here. You've been listening to The Spot, a production of BYU-Idaho Radio. Today's hosts were
Rachel Pace.
Abigale Maxfield,
Grace Andrus.
The views and opinions of this podcast are not that of BYU-Idaho Radio or the university and are solely the opinions of the hosts. Our theme music is Finding Happiness by DJ Quads and The Perpetual Ticking of Time by Artificial Music. Subscribe to The Spot, available on all music streaming platforms, or visit our website byui.edu/radio and click podcasts. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at BYUI_The Spot. Have a topic in mind? Leave us a comment and let us know what we should talk about next. Awesome. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.